Sam, dude, Saiyan Salamander here, and welcome to the latest edition of Outrealm Heroes. For anyone new to this series, basically I talk about Fire Emblem Heroes and what characters outside the Fire Emblem franchise would look good if they were added into units in the game. I've talked about a bunch of series so far, like the Fantasy AU of My Hero Academia, Dragadia Last, and more. But this time we're heading into the world of Demon Slayer with a banner I'm calling Passengers of the Infinity Train. If you haven't guessed, the banner's based on the latest movie, Demon Slayer The Infinity Train. So all of the main characters from that movie will be appearing on the banner. There was one character that I wasn't able to fit in, but maybe I'll talk about them in another time when I do a Demon Slayer theme banner again. So, with the introductions out of the way, let's go on to the first unit of the banner. Or should I say units, as the first heroes I'll be talking about are the duo Demon Slayer siblings, Tanjiro and Nezuko. So as much as I love Demon Slayer, the one problem with converting them all into Fae is that you can't really do anything interesting with their movement and weapon types. Since other than the demons who you can be a bit more flexible with, they're kind of all just infantry sword units. I mean, I could have just put Nezuko and one of the demons from the movie on the banner, so there'd only be 2 units on the banner that are sword users, instead of 4, but I thought it'd be cool to have her as a duo unit, and that way I could fit almost all the main characters from the film onto one banner. Don't worry though, Nezuko will get the chance to stand out on her own another time, but for now let's just talk about them as a duo unit. Their weapon is of course Tanjiro's blade. None of the main characters have names for their weapons as far as I know of, so I just had to roll with it naming after them the characters themselves. Has an accelerated and special cooldown, and it's also effective against beast units in order to reference their ability to slay demons. Tanjiro is particularly good at slaying demons though, so his weapons effectively has a built-in beast version of the legendary Mask's Binding Shield skill. When Tanjiro is in combat against a beast foe, Tanjiro makes a guaranteed follow-up attack, and to top things off, the foe can't counter-attack or make a follow-up attack either. For the special skill, I went with a new exclusive skill called the Hinokami Kagura. It's a 3-turn special that kinda acts like Deadeye since it doubles damage and has a bonus effect added to it too. The bonus effect is effectively a flash staff weapon. I think it was pretty fitting for the 2 characters because they're both so wholesome they can make anyone lose the will to fight. So I figured I'd add that aspect to their characters in their special move. I almost gave Tanjiro a new breath skill based on his water breathing, but maybe I could if I ever make a legendary Tanjiro, eh? Instead, I just gave him the warding breath, close call, and finally pulse smoke free. Tanjiro has a ton of HP and some really good speed, but other than that, his stats are pretty workable and balanced. With enough investment, the 2 managed to reach over 30 in both defenses, and that combined with 55 HP is no joke. I also gave the 2 characters a super boon in HP and attack, however they have a super bane in defense and resistance. I did this to reference Tanjiro's incredible stamina and Nezuko's incredible strength, but because they're both very caring and tend to put others' safety before their own, which is why their super bane is in their defensive stats. For the duo skill, I thought it'd be fitting to give them the Demon Slayer duo effectively a Spectrum Drive breath skill. Once the skill is activated, any unit within 2 spaces gain +2 to all stats if the foe initiates combat, and gain special cooldown charge plus per attack too. This makes them a great support unit, and even though Tanjiro's water breathing didn't transfer over to Fae, I at least made sure to incorporate the Demon Slayer's breathing techniques into their duo skill. From duo heroes to the 4-star demote of this banner, the next character I'll be talking about is the timid thunder Zenitsu, also making his debut in Fae as an infantry sword unit. Like Tanjiro, his weapon is named after himself and is called Zenitsu's Blade. Like Tanjiro, it's got an accelerated special cooldown and is effective against beast units, though the rest of the weapon is where Zenitsu really stands out from Tanjiro. As long as Zenitsu's at 80% health or less, he can counter-attack before the foe, and can make a follow-up attack before the foe can attack. This makes him a great unit, since as soon as the foe comes near him, he can strike twice as fast as the lightning before the enemy can even touch him. He's one of, if not the fastest unit in the game too, with 45 speed. He's also got some good HP and attack, workable res, and not great but not terrible defense as well. For his skills, Zenitsu comes with drawbacks, so he can run away with his allies when danger approaches. Attack speed push 3 at 4-star, and infantry flash 3 at 5-star, making him really good fodder as well. He also has a super boon in speed because of how lightning fast he is. However, since he's typically too timid to fight unless he's unconscious, I put a super bane in his attack in order to try and reference that. I think in the banner I managed to separate each unit with one defining stat each. Tanjiro and Nezuko have their incredible HP stat, Zenitsu's got his insane speed stat, so even if the 4 banner units are all sword units, they each have something different and unique to offer. The next hero I'll be talking about is a dual-wielding demon-slaying wild boar himself, Osuke. Like the other units I've talked about so far, he's an infantry sword unit, but he's by far the slowest unit on this banner. He's got 15 speed, which means even a lot of armor units can outpace the Bori boy, but the rest of his stats are really good. His HP isn't as good as Tanjiro's 45, but it's still insane, combined with his whopping 43 points in attack and defense, as well as a respectable 30 resistance as well. He's even got a super boon in attack and resistance too, so you can make him strike even harder or turn him into a really good mix tank. Now for his weapon, he's effectively a pseudo-beast, beast-slaying Altina. First of all, he's treated as a beast unit because of how he grew up in the wild, so beast-effective weapons are effective against him, however beasts around him can transform while adjacent to him, and he can even receive their buffs like Goad or Fortify Beasts. As he's a Demon Slayer, he's also effective against beasts themselves. And finally, with his dual swords, I figured it was appropriate for Inosuke's blades to be dual phase a brave weapon. It deducts another 5 points of speed from him, but whether he attacks in the player phase or enemy phase, the wild boar is hitting his mark twice. For his skills, I gave him Bonfire because of his insanely high defense, Fury 3, and finally a brand new tier 4 skill, Wrath 4. As long as the unit's below 100% HP, Inosuke gets -1 special cooldown at the start of the turn, and deals an extra 10 points of damage when his special activates too. And that's not all. I figured making the skill easier to activate wasn't enough for a tier 4 skill, so I gave Wrath 4 a conditional breath effect too. So long as the unit's below 100% HP during combat, the unit will charge their special quicker as long as they're being attacked by the foe. That means when Inosuke's attacked, he can take the first hit, attack back, and on his second hit, launch a bonfire to do maximum damage, making him a terrifying unit to initiate combat against. Alright, I think that just about covers it for what I wanted to talk about with Inosuke, so let's move on to the final sword unit of this banner. No, seriously, I mean it this time. No more sword units in this video after this one, I promise. The final hero from Infinity Train banner is the current Flame Pillar, also known as the Flame Hashira, Rengoku. I originally considered making him a free unit that I'll be talking about later, but considering how he's a member of the Hashira, I figured I should deck him out a bit more and make him a 5-star exclusive. I said every sword unit has some sort of a unique stat they excel in, but honestly Rengoku is just a real jack of all trades, being an extremely well balanced unit who doesn't really have anything he's bad at. He's got a super boon in attack and speed, and a super boon in HP too, which makes him even better, especially if you can get a merchant to get rid of whatever pesky bane you might have when you summon him. For Rengoku's blade, it's basically a beast-slaying defensive version of Setif's Spear of Asul. It accelerates Rengoku's special cooldown, is effective against beasts, and it basically offers joint drive defense and resistance too. It's even got the ability to neutralize the foe's defensive buffs too, which can really help Rengoku and his allies strike the enemy where it hurts, while their defensive buffs are down, making him a really good defensive and offensive unit. As for his skills of course, I gave him Ignis with him being the Flame Hashira and all. Besides, he doesn't have as good defensives as Inosuke, so he's got to rely on Ignis instead of Bonfire to deal with that little bit of extra damage. He's also got Close Guard 3, Low Attack Speed 3, and finally a new skill which is yet to be added into the game with the making of this video. Defense Resistance Unity. It works as you'd expect it to, since we've already got Attack Defense Unity and Attack Res Unity, it just offers a boost in different stats. Overall, he's an amazingly balanced unit, and with his super boons combined with the skills he's already got on hand, Rengoku can be a speedy offensive mix tank. He's difficult to deal any amount of damage to while he's still being able to strike back twice as hard himself. Let's move on to the final unit of this video, who I can safely say is not a sword unit unlike the rest of the characters here. I said Rengoku was the last character for the banner, but that doesn't mean there isn't a brand new free hero to talk about too. I still haven't come up with a new game mode for the Outrealm Hero characters just yet, so for now I'll just talk about the final hero, or should I say villain of the day, and that character is the Demonized Dream, Enmu. I was questioning whether I should make him a beast unit or not to be honest, because I feel like he's more of a ranged attacker than a physical attacker. So I decided to make him a green mage infantry unit, that has a similar effect to Inosuke, which treats him as a beast unit, as long as he's got his weapon equipped. Aside from that effect, Infinite Dream is effectively a conditional dazzling flash staff, that grants him with plus 5 HP too. As long as Enmu has more base health or current health than the foe, his dazzling flash staff activates. I figured this was fitting since his demon blood art is dream manipulation, and if you're sleeping soundly and dreaming away, then it's pretty difficult to counterattack him, so I figured the ability made perfect sense for him. Enmu also comes equipped with Iceberg, Mirror Strike at 5-star, and Rouse Attack Resistance at 4-star, making the skill a little bit easier to obtain, so if you want to obtain Enmu for yourself or for fodder, he's a great unit to obtain. Like you'd imagine, because of his weapon effect, his HP stat is really good. He also has some pretty workable attack and speed stats too. His defense is much to be desired, but his resistance is really good. Even has a super boon in HP, so it's even easier to activate the weapon effect. The downside is though he's got a super pain in attack and defense, so you gotta choose wisely when choosing which traits to use on him. Overall, Enmu's a great magically bulky mage who's really interesting too, as Dazzling Flash is usually a staff exclusive skill, so it's interesting to have a non-colourless unit have access to it. That's all for this time, so I hope you enjoyed the video, my dudes. If you did, please give the video a like, subscribe to see more, and leave a comment on what other Demon Slayer characters you'd like to see me talk about next, or other series in general you'd like to see in Outrealm Heroes. This video was actually requested in the comments by an Osuke, so I really hope you liked what I had to say about all the characters. And if anyone else has some requests for any games I've played or series I've watched, then you can definitely expect me to talk about them in Outrealm Heroes in the future. I also have a Twitch channel and a Discord server linked in the description in case you want to see me do some live gaming playthroughs or you just want to interact with the rest of the Salamander squad some more on Discord. That's all for now, so hopefully I'll see you soon, my dudes. Until next time, bye!